The way I start is on a Friday. I have check-in from 4 to 7 p.m. There's an optional dinner if people want to come by, and all of that, like the setup of that, um, is really important to me. Like I want the presentation of the mats to be good, the aesthetic of it to be nice. I want there to be a sense of like, okay, I'm going into a new space, but I feel settled and safe as I'm entering into it. Because going into a retreat, especially if you're new to this, is it can be very uncomfortable. People don't know what to expect. There's a lot of fear. Am I the only one that's never done this before? Am I going to fit in? Do I take my shoes off? Um, do I put my name tag on? Do I speak? Do I not speak? So I'm trying to get into the head of this person as much as possible, and I can't quell all their fears, and nor would that be like good mindfulness teacher to just like eliminate all of that. Um, but as much as possible, offering clear instructions for people and letting them know in the email leading up to the retreat, like, hey, here's what check-in is going to look like. This is the person. This is where to go when you first arrive. You'll meet this person. They'll show you where your room is. You can pick up a name tag here. When you enter the room, you can take your shoes off. So giving them like those logistical things in the beginning, and giving some hours for people who want to come in early to arrive between like 4 to 7. Um, and then the first evening, I tend to just keep a couple of hours. I view the first evening, and the reason I started on a Friday rather than a Saturday morning is just so that people have an opportunity to get oriented, to get settled. There's less teaching on the first night, and it's more just the nervous system getting acclimated to the space, the people that they're with, me, and slowly dropping into, okay, yeah, I'm stepping out of my life for a period of time, or life as I typically know it, and I'm going to be dropping into this. And I've found that to be important to have like the evening before, so that you can transition into sleep and wake up fresh with already having that orientation, rather than waking up and then going into orientation and then the rest of the retreat experience. It goes a really long way to have a night where you can process that and then wake up and really dive in. So that first evening, the what I'm touching on, just pulling up my notes. Um, I'm doing I'm doing an introduction to myself, just welcoming people here, acknowledging that you might have arrived, but you might not actually have arrived, meaning your body is here, but your mind still may be at home, still with the kids, worried about everything that you're leaving behind at work. So just making space for all of those feelings coming into the experience. And that goes a really long way for people, because they are there, but their systems are still buzzing, and it's for so many people, such a unique and often the first experience that they're having, where they're actually stepping away from their life entirely for a period of time. And so simple things, just like how many people feel like they're leaving a lot, or are worried about what their life that they're leaving behind during this period of time. And getting to see that that's a shared experience is all part of people starting to settle in and feel normalized. I welcome them into the space, give like an overview of the grounds that we're on. And then within like the first 10 minutes or so, I'll just drop us into practice. So it tends to be nice to introduce a practice pretty early on, so that you can settle in. We're doing about 5 to 10 minutes, nothing intense, just to give the opportunity to drop in. And then the next 40 minutes is more of an introduction to me, a bit of an overview of what this retreat experience is going to look like, why it might be relevant, what mindfulness is, what meditation is, and building out some of the ground rules. And those being things like or ground rules and container setting. So where's the bathroom, and knowing that there will be bathroom breaks. Colognes and perfumes, trying to minimize strong scents. Technology. I have a cell phone ceremony that I make the next morning, that if you want to offer your phone, relinquish your phone for the weekend, you can put it in the sacred bucket and I will hold it. And then I make a lame joke that if you want it at the end, you could find it on eBay. I'll probably not tell that joke anymore because it's hard to sell the same jokes every time, but people laugh at that. I go into confidentiality around, like, what is said in this space. We're going to honor the sanctity of that, and that will stay in this space. And then if we break out into small groups, that confidentiality is then localized to that small group, not meaning that it doesn't give you permission to say, I was talking to Caroline about this and she was telling me this about her mom. That one goes a really long way for people, which I'm sure you're already somewhat familiar with, but really important for people to feel like, okay, I can be open and I can share here. I do some mentioning about crosstalk, and that you might hear someone say something and it may trigger like an idea of like, oh, I did that once, or I went through this. And instead, the invitation to let any sort of feedback or teaching come from me, and instead for you to experience what's it like just to feel this person in their process without needing to accelerate it, fix it. And even though it may be well-intentioned, it can actually get in the way of that person's growth.
We provide you with the certification and the credentials you need to teach mindfulness in professional settings. I invite you to check out our webpage at teach.mindfulnessexercises.com to learn more about the program. Feel free to schedule a 15-minute session with me if you have questions, or if you aren't sure if this program is the right fit for you. Be more than happy to speak with you about our program. But I'd be happy to support you. I'd be honored to serve you, to help people. And I look forward to seeing you on the inside.